again, I'm not in the industry, so I can't speak as if I know 100% of what I'm talking about. It's just me as a fan looking on the outside and giving my opinion, right? You can take it with a grain of salt, but I really think that there's a problem in the gaming industry with their talent because they're not unionized. And I know unionized is this big scary word that scares people and everything, but
Voice actor do it, right?
exactly, everybody does it. Actors do it. All the companies do it, especially when it's like that. When it's like a 40-hour a week job, whatever, you don't need a union, right? It's pretty simple. But when it's like this, I don't know. I just find it needs, especially for a huge body of workers like that. I think they need unions, and I think they don't just need a union per. They need global unions. I don't know if that exists, but they need unions
Like,
at
yeah,
least
the
for each country.
game devs union
Exactly,
for
and
the
not
USA,
just
for
for
Canada,
the sound
for
designers or for everybody. All right,
QA, programmers, artists. I get you.
because right now that's what sucks, is that there's a high offer of people working in that industry, so they have no leverage. They can't say, "Hey, boss, calm down. We don't want that." They can't, because they know that if they do, ciao,
Here's the
bye,
door.
bitch, you're out.
Yep.
Here's the next one, right, to take your job, and he's gonna work twice as hard to keep that job until he gets tired and then burns out and then switch. And it's this constant rotation, I think, and that sucks. That's what if there's no laws, if there's no union, nobody to put their foot down, of course people are going to be stepped on. If you look at before in the 19th century,
Yeah.
it wasn't 40 hours a week, it was 80-hour weeks, right?
And they were getting a lot of injuries working, right? And
exactly,
they were losing their hands, their legs.
And what happened? People band together, and when they band together, they were able to have more of they had a bigger bargaining chip, and they could actually voice their opinion and voice their miscontent. And did the industry collapse and all the industries collapse and disappear? No, they didn't. They adjusted. They adjusted to give working conditions that are good, and it's as simple as that.
Because the people that work there are huge fans themselves. They want to work
and they'll
there.
be more productive. They have pride of working on these games, and it just sucks that I get to enjoy this beautiful piece of work that people put in hours and hours slaving over this. And that's the word that I don't want to use. I don't want to use that any word anymore. Slave over it, right? I don't want them. I want them to take an extra year, right? Delay it. And it sucks because this is where I think that we as a consumer have less power, because it never works. It never works voting with your wallet. It doesn't. There's too many people. There's not enough people that are aware of the situation. So boycotting and stuff like that, it doesn't work.
The only time it worked, in my recent memory, was with Star Wars Battlefront 2 and the huge movement that the consumers did.
Oh, absolutely. But you saw how much it took.
It was took so much, bro.
It was year after year. People were doing this, and people started getting pissed off of it. But that because it went and had a negative impact on the customer. The customer was getting a game that was either half finished or was filled with microtransaction and was unplayable, right? A crunch, the consumer, who they don't give a shit.
And we didn't even know. Like Jackie said, it was just like recently that we began to read the news more and more about crunch, because dev become more vocal and it's easier to share in 2020.
Yeah, you spoke about that story from the Metroid team, and you see, I've never heard of that story. And like I said, it's like from 1 or 2 years I've heard of these stories of crunch and how they exploit the employees. So it's very new to me. I don't know if I had my head in the sand, but it seems to me like we haven't spoken about that subject for a long time.
And it's scary to me because people don't understand how game dev work. Like you have that teammate of yours that does art, right? And he's like, okay, I've updated the model for the character and I've created that new animation for him every time he jumps, let's say, over some stuff. And I really wanted to see that if it's bugged or if it's something. Could you please program him into the newest build we have? And you're like, bro, it's 11 p.m. I'm at night in bed with my wife where I'm about to sleep. And he's like, bro, you're so fucked up, bro. I can't move on if you don't come and program this shit. And the company tells you overtime is not mandatory, but then your teammate stays overtime and depends on you. It's mandatory, bro. You have to stay with the guy.
Yeah, of course. If you say, oh yeah, it nobody has to. There's one person that's gonna start doing overtime because he needs the money, right? And then the other one decides to do it, and then when 75% of the people decide that they want to do overtime, the 25% that have it, what are they gonna do? No, I don't want to do it. Of course they do.